Hallo, hier ist wieder der Frank. Ich begrüße euch zu einer weiteren Videosequenz zum Video 38TC, und zwar jetzt zum Video 38.5. Es geht um den Schleiferumbau von vorne nach hinten an dieser Märklin USA Diesellok mit den Nummern 38442 oder 38440 und 38441. Nachdem ich gestern das Video 38.4 im Hinblick auf Entgleisen und Maßnahmen veröffentlicht habe, wurde ich von einem Modellbahnkollegen aus Australien gebeten, doch mal auszuführen, wie ich den Schleifer umbaue, weil man hat dort in der australischen Community auch mit dem Entgleisen dieser Diesellok zu kämpfen. Ich komme dieser Bitte gerne nach und deswegen wechsle ich jetzt in Englisch. Und ich gehe mal davon aus, dass ihr das trotzdem genauso bei Interesse auch auf Englisch verfolgen könnt. Hello, this is Frank. Welcome back to this video sequence. I have now added another video 38.5 train controller to explain how I changed the pickup shoe from the front wheel truck to the back wheel truck. Let me first explain to you why I changed the pickup shoe to the rear wheel truck. I observed by coincidence, because I had a lamp switched off in my room close to the place where the derailment took place. Then I saw a short circuit sparks flashing up during derailment, and that happened on a turnout, on a wide radius turnout, 24711 or 24712, and the place where the short circuit obviously occurs is in this area where the studs of the middle points are very, very close to the track, the outer tracks, and if one of the wheels is getting close and touches the stud, then the short circuit may happen. And you find this happening very often on Märklin C-track wide radius turnouts. So that is not a very rare case. I hear these complaints from many of my model railroad friends. Now, you can of course first do one thing and kind of isolate the room in between here, and there are isolators which you can purchase at this shop here in Germany and clip them in here. As alternative to the isolator shoe, you can also use shrink heat hose around these two studs here. Just cut them a little bit tinier than the stud itself, so the top of the stud is still connecting to the pickup shoe, while the side of the stud on both sides to the track is isolated. So that is an alternative which I haven't tried in this case. When I used these isolator elements, I observed that the train did not anymore, or the locomotive did not anymore cause a short circuit, so that problem was fixed. But another problem occurred, because crossing this or passing this isolator, the train abruptly had a dip in the speed and then speeded up again, and you could clearly see it, and it shattered through the whole train. So what my guess is that the shape of the wheels is too thick all in all, that at one side or even at both sides it squeezes through rather than passing freely through this little gap. Given these findings, you actually have the selection between plague and cholera. Either you use this isolator shoe and have the dip in the speed, or you don't use it and then you have short circuits. So basically then you start thinking about whether the width between the inner sides of the wheels is correct or not. And before I removed the pickup shoe to move it back on the locomotive to the rear wheel truck, I double checked the distance between the inner side of the wheels, and that should be 14.1 millimeter or 14.2 or 14.3, something like that, but not 13.9 or 13.8, and sometimes that is the case for the short circuits on long radius, wide radius turnouts of Märklin, but that was okay in my case. My theory, which I then thought could cause the derailment, is that I have two things happening at the same time. The pickup shoe is compressed across a turnout because the studs are higher and then lower down again across a turnout. So the pickup shoe, being compressed, applies a tiny little force to the locomotive upwards. In most cases, the weight of a locomotive is heavy enough to keep it solid on the track. But now at the same time, crossing the turnout, you have short circuits and the sparks may apply a force as well upwards. And in that case, these two forces add up and could derail the locomotive. That's just a theory. Whether it really applies or not, I do not know. But I just wanted to let you know my thought process, why I decided to move the pickup shoe to the rear wheel truck. First of all, you must remove the housing of the locomotive. Just follow the instructions in the instruction manual of Märklin. You have to unscrew here the screws which marked with number 4. In addition to that, you have to dismount or disassemble the couplings, because otherwise you won't get the body removed from the bottom. What I did, I removed the snow plows. That is just a plastic piece which is clipped on, and then you can, what I did in my case, I just cut the remaining plastic piece and cut a piece out of it, so the whole couplings just can freely move out the body when separating the cover from the bottom. After you have opened the housing, you see here the front end of the printed circuit board with connected wires. Please do not be irritated about these 4 wires coming out of the top of the locomotive housing, because that's 4 wires connecting to an electrical coupling which I mounted at the back of the locomotive. So these 4 wires go inside the housing and come in here with connecting to ground and to the middle points of the tracks. You have to watch out because there are coming 2 wires from the front wheel truck. One is for the ground and one is from the pickup shoe. So be sure you have the right one, and then you can disconnect or cut it here. This is the gray wire to at the very end. I come to that back later. You have to then connect to the cable coming from the pickup shoe after it has been mounted to the back or rear wheel truck. Okay, so I do not want to go and solder on the printed circuit board here, so this is why I cut the wheel coming from down from the pickup shoe. I cut it here to then solder my new wire at the end of my work back here. It's interesting in my case, but that may be different in your case. The wire starts out at the pickup shoe in black and then turns into gray while coming up here, but this may be different on your locomotive. To change the pickup shoe from the front end to the rear end of the locomotive, you do not necessarily have to dismount and take away the pickup shoe itself. Of course, I do it at this point in time to show you how the gear cover looks like, because the one at the back end is plain on the top. So this is very important to understand why you have to change this whole cover and exchange it, move this to the back and the one from the back to the front. You have to remove these covers by putting here a small screwdriver and kind of lift this mechanism, which is shown in here from the instruction manual. So it clips in with these two clips here into the housing. So you have to kind of open a little bit to get the cover removed. And once you have cut the wire from the pickup shoe, then you can remove this whole mechanism, so the cover of the gears, including the pickup shoe, away from the locomotive. Okay, you of course have to do this on the other side as well. You can see here the pickup shoe, and on the back then the whole cover of the gears is plain. Again here and on the other side here, just gently lift it up with a small screwdriver. Okay, after you've now exchanged your covers, your gear covers, you have to find in the rear wheel truck the hole to feed the cable through. And if you look at it, it sounds looks like it has 3 holes. There are 2 small ones over here, and there's a bigger one. So take the bigger one, because these are actually not really holes. Take the bigger one and feed the cable through into the locomotive. You can see it here. I enlarged this photo. Here is a hole, and you can see here the wire leading to the little metal plate in the gear cover, and the pickup shoe itself is not screwed but clipped again onto the gear cover. Okay, so you got to find this hole to feed the cable through into the locomotive. When mounting the cover of the gear on the back end of the train or of the locomotive, you have to watch out that this opening for the pickup shoe, if it is compressed, is showing backwards. The other piece here, the other end, moves into this free space. Okay, so that is important to not make anything wrong. Then you see the cable coming out here. See, it's black and then it turns in gray. Very strange. Most likely it should be all black. And then I extended it. And you have now to watch out that you are not getting with your cable in conflict with these openings, because the housing comes in here. So be sure you feed your little wire over here, and then again I've soldered it here to this little remaining piece which I cut off at the beginning of my work. Yeah, now this is how the locomotive at the end looks like. This is the front end here with the plain cover, and this is the back end with the pickup shoe. Well, this completes my rework on the pickup shoe and all the tests, and I hope there's something informative for you which you can use on your Märklin ES44AC locomotive. There is no guarantee from my side that what I explained really solves the problem on your model railroad. The root causes for derailing, the root causes for short circuits are numerous, and you just have to check step by step what to do, how to cure the situation and get this locomotive smoothly running. Thanks for your attention, and see you next time at my next video. Bye bye.